Hi everyone, Becca here. I am here to deliver day 4 of my story. I committed to going live every day for 30 days to share parts of my story. The reason being, I've said this the past couple of days, but I want to show up in a more vulnerable, authentic way. Share a side of me or parts of me that I don't really share or ever share. And something that has really become important is showing this, I want to bring and highlight that piece, because it's easy to look now and be like, yeah, sure, it's easy to fucking love your body if you do. Yeah, okay, that can happen for her, but not me. But I want to share what it was really like for me in the nitty gritty days. That's my earring. I was like, I have something in my hair. In the nitty gritty days, to just show you that you're not alone. If you struggle with any sort of body shame or any sort of body issues, you're not alone, and it's possible to shift it. It's kind of the purpose of this. So I've shared before, a huge piece of my story is really not liking my body, hating my body, thinking it was wrong, trying to fix it. I spent a lot of time, effort, money, energy in trying to fix my body that was wrong. On my side of the story is that my body was too big. People have their own different stories, but this is my story, is that my body was too big and that was a problem and it needed to be fixed. And I grew up knowing or believing that thin is the ideal. Thin is best. The thinner you are, the better you are. And so that then created in my brain this hierarchy of bodies. I kind of used it to rank where I was in this realm of bodies. I'd meet some perfect stranger and I would place them based on what they look like amongst my body. Either you're better than me or you're worse than me based on what you look like. There was, innately that it's like, fine, do that, but it wasn't enjoyable for me. People who I just crossing on the street had never met, it was like, you're better than me, I'm wrong, and it created this shame because my body was bigger than theirs. I also grew up believing that it was okay to talk shit on people who were thinner than me. And that is kind of true in society, oh, this thin bitch, this skinny bitch. No. But that was what I grew up with. And so anytime I saw someone who had the body that I was going for or had a thinner body, I was immediately triggered by that. I was pissed off. I was resentful. I was jealous. I was wishing that I was that way. I was thinking that I was worse, going back to that hierarchy. And so none of it felt good. None of it. So that was just kind of an added layer of shitty feelings. I've named these past couple of days of eating caused a lot of guilt, shame around that. My body, being in my body, caused a lot of guilt and shame, but then also meeting people who had bodies that for me were what I wanted caused a lot of shame. And there's a lot of people who have thinner bodies on this planet. So I was experiencing that a lot. So I dieted for 20 years, hated my body the whole time. And at 27, I decided, let's see if I can love this body as it is right now. And so I did a lot of healing. And when I say healing, I don't mean yummy, delicious yoga series sequences. I don't mean journaling and it's Dear Diary and it's beautiful. Healing can be really ugly. I spent a lot of time in the mirror weeping, being this is my body, and just coming back to it. Healing is not always pretty and sweet. It can be really ugly. So I did a lot of ugly healing and came to realize that my body doesn't bear a burden of my worth. My body actually has nothing to do with my worth as a human. So I learned how to detach my worth from my body. And through that, I then healed that relationship with other people. Anytime I was just randomly upset at some stranger, it was because I was upset with what was going on inside. Seeing a thin person then was just a mirror of like, you're fat. Hey, Ashley. And so that was very triggering. That was very upsetting because I immediately met this person and it was just a mirror of like everything that I hated in myself. I'm not that. I'm not that. And that's true if I came across a bigger person than me. Oh my God, how disgusting. You're so fat. Oh God. Again, that mirror. Like I don't want to be seen that way. So I did a lot of healing in that regard, and I was able to detach that. And I remember specifically one moment I was at a luncheon or conference, and I was standing there there was hundreds of people in this room. And we're having these thoughts like, oh my God, that's a really cute top. Oh my God, I love her hair. Like being like in love with all of these people's appearances. And I kind of took a step back like, whoa. That's new. That's really new. And it was so eye-opening to me in that moment. And it was such a clear indication of the healing that I had done with my body because I wasn't triggered by these thin people, these seemingly better people that I was before. I was seeing it for the truth. I could see past their thinness and see the amazing blouse that they had on, the dope ass hair color that they had. Like I could see the truth in these people, the beauty in these people, and not let my own self-worth issues get in the way of that. And that has been so revealing. I see one thing that I love watching are dancers. I love like just seeing how they move their body and the control that they have and how sexy it is and the way that they express their body. Like it's super fun for me. And I remember thinking like, holy crap, I'm so glad I'm not triggered by this woman's body. Because before, if I would have seen a thin, fit woman dancing all sexy and twerking and moving her body in ways that I wish that I could, the dialogue would go off. I'd start talking smack on her. I would hate her. I would then start feeling all this shame because I'm fat. I would start thinking about how disgusting my body is compared, like the whole cycle. And now when I look at a video of someone dancing in a thin, fit body, I see it for what it is. Holy crap, they are so talented. Oh my God, I love the way they move their body. That is so sexy. Like I can see it for the truth of what it is. And so it sort of felt like doing this healing around my body felt like just sort of this lens was removed and replaced with like this authentic lens. What am I actually seeing here? Because the truth is that there is no hierarchy of bodies. There is no body that is better or worse. If you're in a thin body or a fat body, that doesn't have any bearing of who you are. And that to me is very, very healing, not only to me, but think of the rest of the world. Like people can feel when you hate them. People can feel when you resent them. And so these loving, beautiful, innocent bystanders just got smacked with my own self-hate and I projected it onto them. So that's when I say like doing your own healing is actually very, very healing to the collective, to the rest of the world. Because when you heal the relationship with yourself, you are then healing every other relationship. And that to me is just a huge piece. It makes me think of like, why isn't everyone doing this work? Because we think of it as selfish, like turning inward, spending time and money and energy on ourselves, how selfish. But in reality, it's helping the entire rest of the world. And that's not a reason to do it. You should do this for yourself, but just that you can kind of soften the selfishness with it. It's like, okay, if I can't do it for me, let me do it for everyone else, because it will have that effect. Healing your relationship with yourself will heal the relationship you have with others and everything. So that I just want to name, because truthfully, I was really ashamed to admit that I would judge people often by their external appearance. I would make assumptions about them. I would talk smack on them. That was hard for me to own. But it's the truth. And it stemmed from that place of self-distaste, from self-hate, nothing else. And it's clear to me now when I see the lens that's differently without that. So again, my relationship with everyone else has changed dramatically since doing the relationship with myself. That wasn't the intention, but it was a symptom of that, an effect of that, I guess I should say. So I'm going to stop there. It is miraculous how much energy and emotion has been spared since healing that piece. And so take this as just like a reflection, because guaranteed you get triggered by other people. You get upset by other people's bodies or what they're doing or saying. And anytime that's the case, it's a direct reflection of what you feel internally. So think of the last person who pissed you off. Might not have to think too far, I don't know. And kind of okay, why was I upset at that person? Why did they piss me off? And can you make any connections from your internal relationship, your relationship with yourself? Because guaranteed it's there. And if you're kind of realizing like, oh yeah, that resonates. I get triggered by a lot of people because of their body or because of what they're doing or comparing or any of that. There's healing to be done. There's no problem, but there's opportunities. So one of which is an online course that I'm creating. I'll release here in a little bit, but it's essentially a bite-sized way to start this transformation process. You'll be able to do it in your house, in your bed, on your own time. And just kind of dig into that a little bit. If you are ready, if you're like, I'm triggered all the time by people's bodies and I don't want to be, and I want to dive deep. I have a group starting this winter that is filling up, but there are still spots. Really excited for it. The people that are joining this group are ready to do the work. They're committed, they're excited, they are open, and it's going to be really transformational. So if you're ready for this work, let me know. I'm here for it. And let me know who triggers you. Is there a common thread of people that trigger you? And when I say trigger, I mean just like innately upset you. Just seeing them or interacting with you, they piss you off. They upset you. Are there common themes with that? And there's something to look in there. I will be back here tomorrow for day 5, telling you more about my experience. If you have comments or questions, feel free to reach out. Sending you all tons of love.